Hi everybody, I hope everyone's doing well. This video I will be doing a product review on Chanel's Illusion d'Ombre. If you guys are interested, do stick around. Chanel's Illusion d'Ombre are definitely the most hyped about product this season, and these are Chanel's potted eyeshadows, which look like these. These have largely been compared to a lot of the cream shadow products that have recently been launched in the market as well, specifically Giorgio Armani's Eyes to Kill. But a lot of people have not been quite as happy as they were with the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill, and a lot have actually been more on the disappointed side when it came to these shadows. And I think largely what is the cause of that is the fact that there is a certain expectation when it comes to textures and consistencies, and as far as you as a consumer working with a product and having a certain expectation on the finish and the opaqueness of the product. And I think a large thing that has to do with it is the fact that a lot of people have the conception of this being a cream shadow, which are the ones that we have been accustomed to in the market that come in potted packaging such as these. But these are actually, Chanel describes them, they're luminous, long-wearing eyeshadows with intense shimmer, but they have an innovative texture gel consistency. So having read that from the way that it has been described by Chanel really did give me some semblance of an insight of why I've probably been quite disappointed with this shadow in terms of working with it in its consistency and texture. Let me get down to just the basics of the product. So these retail for $36 US each pot, and I think they released 12 shades of these shadows in their current collection, and these are actually going to be part of their permanent line. And the one that I have with me right now is 82 Emerveille. These come in 4 grams per packaging, and this is how they look. Now, before I give you guys my thoughts on the product itself and my experience with it, I will give you guys some sort of a perspective to compare it with, and I think it's the best way to actually do full reviews is to give comparisons or comparative reviews with products that we are accustomed to. So the one that I will actually be comparing it to is actually the MAC paint pots, which look like these. So these are very similar in color as well. This one is the Paint Pot and Bear Study. Now, besides the packaging, there's the price point where you have this for $20 US instead of $36. So this is more expensive by $16. But at the same time, the MAC paint pots actually have more product in them. This contains 5 grams of product, while the Chanel ones contain 4 grams. So you have an entire difference of 1 gram more for the MAC paint pot, but $16 more for the Chanel. And I guess that's what comes with the luxury of the packaging and maybe the ingredients of the formulation. I've actually tried using this Chanel shadow a couple of times, not just once or twice. But I would have to say that every time I did use it, I'd have to make a conscious effort to use it, because the first time I really was disappointed with it. It's very sheer, and it takes quite a lot of working your finger in the product to actually get some kind of opaqueness from it. Not to mention the way it sits on the skin of my eyelids, it just seems like it doesn't sit well. It almost feels like it's just staying on top of my skin. It feels like it can actually move a lot, and it doesn't feel like it's acting as a good base if I decide to put powder shadows over top. So let me just try to swatch this for you guys, and it's really very smooth. And so this is how it looks, and it looks very luminizing indeed. But once you do swatch it, let's say in the back of my hand, you barely see it. You do see a semblance of a shimmer right here, but it's just extremely sheer. So if you're somebody who looks for a bit more of opaqueness, this might not really do the job for you. I remember putting this on my lid the first time, and with the amount of product that I thought I'd grab from the pot, I was largely disappointed when I saw the reflection in the mirror, because it really seemed like I didn't put anything at all. At the same time, it didn't really brighten my eyelid or anything like that, versus the matte paint pot, which has a bit more of a depth or substance to it once you put your finger in it. And this is how it looks. So if I put that side by side with a Chanel, this is how they look, and I've actually gotten my finger around the pot about the same amount of time. And so these are them right there. This is where the Chanel is, and this is the MAC paint pot. And you can see there is some sort of sheen right here, which is the Chanel's, but you can barely tell any different. It almost feels like just a highlight, like a blush or a cheekbone highlight. And this is the MAC paint pot in Bare Study. And I think because usually with the eyelids there's a lot of redness because of the veins, you really do need shadows, whether they're cream based, especially when they're cream based, to actually have a bit more of opaqueness in them. At the same time, I wasn't a fan of the texture of the Chanel. It almost felt like it was quite flimsy. It doesn't feel very substantial even when you place your finger in the pot and you try to grab product. It almost feels like you're not really getting anything. And it took me quite a bit to actually, it took me quite a bit working with a product and grabbing product and going back and forth before I actually got some sort of finish that I actually was pleased with. So if I try to build the Chanel up, it also doesn't build up as much. I mean, you do see a sheen, but it doesn't build up as much as, or even the buildup doesn't come close to what I had originally with a paint pot. So even with the way this is reflecting on the screen right now, it almost makes me feel like it would be of better use as a cheekbone highlighter. But I've also tried swatching the deeper colored ones or the more pigmented ones, but they were just the same really for me. I was veering towards getting Merfique, which is the darkest one of the batch. It's the black one, black grayish one, but that one just gave the same sheerness. You do not get the pigment that they show on the pot is not the pigment that you should expect with these products, and that is actually quite disappointing, especially for a price point that is $36. So that is my thorough review of Chanel's Illusion d'Ombre. It is quite fascinatingly called Illusion of Shadow, and it's actually quite funny because that's how it kind of looks when you actually put it in your eye. It's an illusion of having an eyeshadow, but really not seeing much payoff there. So for $36, I really would not recommend you getting this product. I know it's greatly hyped about, and if you go to any Chanel counter, it's the one product that every brand rep or associate will try to push to you, but don't be swayed. I regret getting this for $36. I could have gotten a Dior Shadow Duo, and that one is so much more worth value for money. So I hope that was informative for you guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day or a great evening.